Well, as the Israel-Hamas war drags into its sixth day, the death toll has risen to 2,500. The Palestinian Health Ministry says 1,200 people have been killed in Gaza in the Israeli strikes, while Israel has endured a massive multi-pronged surprise attack from Hamas on Saturday, triggering another wave of violence. 1,300 people have been killed in Israel so far. In the latest, Israeli president has spoken about those abducted by Hamas, including young children, and also about the missing and killed foreign nationals. He said it is the fight that will be a long-drawn campaign against the Hamas.
One of my own advisors was mobilized to remove bodies. I spoke to him last night. He found a family of 5 together, hugging each other, shot and burned. Nothing can speak more than anything than this tragedy. I was wondering what they prayed before they were all shot together. Mother, father, children, babies. The injuries that were found on the bodies of the killed, the people, the removing teams, the rescue teams, which I met in the last 2 days, mostly in Sderot yesterday, found signs of torture on the bodies like anything they've ever seen in their life, and some of them are for decades dealing with pains of war and terror.
The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has landed in Israel in a show of strength and solidarity with Washington's closest ally in West Asia, Israel. Blinken has met the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Tel Aviv to discuss further boosting military support. He will also meet the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas as well in Jordan. Hamas has reportedly fired a barrage of rockets at Tel Aviv in response to the Israeli strikes. The group says the strikes are in response to the Israeli attacks at refugee camps in Gaza. Germany has extended, meanwhile, its military support to Israel as well. The country's defense minister confirmed that Berlin will allow Israel to use 2 Heron drones the German Air Force has in use in the country. The Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has called for an immediate end of hostilities. Just like Vladimir Putin, he too blamed the U.S. for its role in the conflict. He said that the U.S. has been sabotaging the United Nations' decision to create a Palestinian state. The Israeli Defense Forces have admitted that there were some unspecified indications but no major warnings the night before Hamas launched its massive attack. Senior intelligence officers reportedly discussed the signs on Friday night and agreed to continue the conversation in the morning. The Israeli forces were caught off guard. The attack was launched early on Saturday morning. The admission comes a day after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu rejected the reports of Egypt warning Israel of a big attack 3 days in advance. The Israeli Prime Minister has vowed to wipe Hamas off the face of the earth shortly after forming an emergency unity government. Addressing the newly formed war cabinet, Benjamin Netanyahu declared, and I quote here, "Every Hamas member is a dead man." Netanyahu has temporarily settled his political differences by including centrist former Defense Minister Benny Gantz in the new government formed for the duration of the crisis. Israel has amassed thousands of troops, tanks and other heavy armor around Gaza as it executes a total siege of the Gaza Strip, launching a ground offensive as well in the days to come. The threat of a multi-front war is also looming large as Israel came under fresh attacks on its northern borders from neighboring Lebanon, from the Hezbollah and from Syria as well. Supplies are running low in the Gaza Strip, where power has gone out last evening after the only power station in the territory ran out of fuel. With this, all medical facilities risk going out of operation within days, triggering a greater humanitarian crisis. On the other hand, the U.S. President Joe Biden made his first call for restraint over Israel's response to the Hamas attacks. He has urged Israel to abide by the rules of war, even as more arms and ammunition supplies from Washington arrive in Israel. The U.S. confirmed that at least 22 American citizens have been killed in Israel.